evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He, a podcast that lives its life a quarter mile at a time. It's not really a funny quote, but it's very poignant for what we're going to talk about tonight.
No, definitely. But here's what my question is: was that supposed to be Vin Diesel? Or does that go back to one of our past episodes where we inserted Nicolas Cage into a Vin Diesel movie?
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. And still, you can't tell who it is, right? Hey, I am your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-host.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And Drew Carroll.
There he is. That's right. And hey, we just want to say welcome to the show tonight. Hey, it is episode 30, or as we like to say, it's episode XXX. It's going to be our Vin Diesel celebration, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you are strapped in and ready to go because, I mean, we're dedicating most of this episode to the man, the myth, the legend, Vin Diesel. Josh, I'm curious to know, on your hierarchy of actors, we know that George Clooney is pretty close, if not the top.
Number one.
Where does Vin Diesel hit?
Where does Vin Diesel comes in at a strong number 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a strong number 5. He's really holding that spot down. So, yeah, he's got some work to do. You know, he's got to get a few more movies under his belt. But I would say a strong number 5.
Dude, I feel like he's on his way out. And you're like, he's got to get a few more movies under his belt.
Yeah, he may not make it. He might drop out of the top 10, actually.
I feel like for every Fast and the Furious sequel he stars in, he should move to that number on the list.
In that case, we should drop him to 8.
I'll have to say, if there's anybody out there who's updating the Wikipedia, Josh's list of actors, you need to throw Vin Diesel in there at number 5. And if nobody's done the Wikipedia, I mean, somebody get on that, okay? Yep. Just somebody take care of that. Anyways, tonight, like I said, we're doing our Vin Diesel celebration. We're going to talk the best Vin Diesel characters out there. We're also going to play a little game that I like to call Vin Lose or Draw. I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be awesome.
I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So, but before we jump in, fellas, tell me, did you watch the World Cup?
What kind of question is that, Rob? Of course not. Seriously, what kind of question
was
is
it
that?
held in America?
No.
Yeah.
Do you know who won? I heard. I was very angry.
That's what I was going to ask you, Josh. France destroys Croatia. The Frenchmen take the world. The French are sitting on the throne, the football throne of the entire world. How do you feel about that today, Josh?
Well, if I cared about soccer, as it's actually called, I might be a little bit more angry about it, but I just don't like the fact that they're celebrating anything, to be honest. I'm not a fan of that.
It's the world sport.
Soccer's the world sport because nobody else in the world can play football. That's what is the world sport.
They're all too small.
Yeah,
all too small and dainty.
I have to say, as soon as I saw that France won, the first thing I thought of was Josh. I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well.
It's going to be fantastic. You know, this episode is not, or this portion of this episode is not going to bode well for our international listeners at all. No. There are probably a few out there that are steaming right now.
I'm sure they haven't made it this far.
They
haven't made it this far in the podcast.
That's probably true. That's a good point.
So I have to say, I was on social media, and our buddy Caleb Abels, he posed a very good question. He said, hey, France wins the World Cup, but how long until they surrender the trophy to somebody else? And who do you think they're going to surrender it to?
See, I heard the after party, the British just walked in there and punched him in the face and took the trophy.
In all seriousness, though, all we want to say to our French listeners is, you give us the fire in the trouser. Okay, anyway.
Is it bad that I just didn't care about any country that made it to the World Cup?
Dude, I didn't know the World Cup was going on. I had no idea. I turned on my news app today, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Here in California, I'm pretty sure the broadcast was ESPN 8, the Ocho.
They've decided to surrender the trophy to Croatia. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off. Anyways, so Josh, all of the French talk aside, how are you, my friend?
Oh, you know, I'm actually doing okay. Okay is probably the way I would say it. Mostly because I watched a movie this week. And this poor man, this poor director, had a career in front of him, could have done good things. And he just keeps shooting himself in the foot over and over again. And this week, I watched Justice League.
Ooh.
You know, the second working title being The Bottom of the Bottom. Because it was like absolutely one of the worst movies I have ever seen. And that's saying something because Batman versus Superman was really terrible. And I'm just trying to figure out what happened. If we could get Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder like on this program, I want to ask them, what happened? Dude, Christopher Nolan blew us away with the Dark Knight series. And Man of Steel was pretty good, in my opinion, which Zack Snyder directed. But they lost their way. Somewhere down the road, they lost their way. And maybe it's because they're getting their butts handed to them by Marvel. I don't know what it is, but dude, movies don't get any worse than that. Like, I seriously wasted 2 hours of my life. 2 hours that I'll never get back again.
On Justice League?
Yeah.
I don't...
It was horrendous.
Isn't Suicide Squad a part of that?
Yeah, that was bad too. Did you see Suicide Squad, Rob?
Okay, here's what I'll say.
Okay.
He liked it.
He did.
Oh,
He liked it.
dude.
Oh, man.
When it comes to DC, the DC films that I have seen are basically Man of Steel, which I agree. I thought was a good. It was good. You know,
strong
it was
film,
different,
dude.
different than I thought it was going to be, and I actually really enjoyed it. But I did not see Batman versus Superman. I did not see Suicide Squad, and I have not seen Justice League.
And there's a
Or
very
Wonder
good
Woman.
reason you haven't. Well, Wonder Woman was actually really good.
See, I haven't even seen that one
Yeah,
either,
it
but
was
that's what I've
pretty-
heard.
That one was pretty amazing. They should bring that director over and finish the rest
Why
of the
haven't
DC
you seen
stuff
those
because-
movies?
Dude, I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm gonna put on a movie, you know, if it's gonna be Marvel, it's gonna be DC. I gotta watch that Marvel, baby, right?
Okay.
I was just trying to talk about how bad that movie was, but you know. I literally would have shut this thing off, man, but my son was watching and he was actually loving it because Batman is his favorite character in the world. So like he just thought it was the greatest thing. And
You
I was
didn't
like,
tell him.
"Oh,
You didn't
man."
tell him you thought it sucked, right?
Yes, I did. I did tell him that it was really terrible. I basically got really close to breaking his heart, but then I was like, I redeemed myself. Oh, there were some cool parts, dude. Yeah.
Like when it ended.
Yeah. Seriously, man.
Those ending credits were
So-
just amazing.
Yeah, it was a rough week. Outside of that, you know, you guys are familiar with my horse dog that I have.
Oh, yeah.
My Mastiff Great Dane, and you know, she's about 125 pounds and a cuddle bug, likes to sit on your lap. Not really much of a cuddler, I would consider that, but she had the audacity to burp in my face this week.
Oh my god!
Flat out, like burped in my right after she just finished her meal. Man, it was like absolutely disgusting. I was sitting outside on the patio in the morning, just enjoying my coffee, and she would not leave me alone. And she was just standing there. I kept like pushing her back. I was like, "Rogue, back off! Rogue, back off!" And she's just sitting there, like she just wants to be pet, like on the head. Right? I'm sitting down, and she's like standing on all fours and is taller than me. Like sitting down now. Like that's how big this dog is now. And she's standing there and she keeps getting closer and closer. And I just look at her like the Stonewall like look, and she's getting closer and closer. And I was like, Rogue, back off. And she's just sitting right there. And I was like, back off. And then all of a sudden, dude, she just lets out this massive belch, just it sounded like a roar. Just right in my face.
Oh, dude, it's probably all hot.
Dude, yeah,
Steamy.
It smelled like she
Alpo.
crapped through her mouth. Like it, it was that bad.
Oh, dude.
Like I threw my coffee out. I just like got up. I walked away. I went back into the house. I was like, I've had enough of this morning. This
Morning's
is terrible.
ruined.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like I'm going back to bed.
So yeah, you know, it was one of those weeks where it could have been better. It wasn't terrible,
Yeah,
but it could have been better. So
The joys of pet ownership. Right?
yeah, it's fantastic,
dude. That is the worst, dude. The
terrible.
the smells that they push out, dude, and it's always at times when you're trying to enjoy something. Food.
Every time you're trying to relax, man.
Dude, like it's like
Playing the drums.
dude. Yeah. Every time one of our dogs sits down, dude, every single time you hear a Like, just this little, yeah, dude, just this little.
A whistle? Your dog's butt whistles? He wakes himself up, like, thinks that you're whistling at him. Gets up and looks around. Oh, that's funny. How about you, Drew? How was your week?
It was good, dude. It was really busy. Finally caught some downtime, and me and the wife were hanging out watching The Office. And then she was like,
much better than Justice League.
Yeah, for sure. And then I kind of looked over and I see that she's looking at, like, you know, pregnancy stuff online, and she's looking at you know, birthing and delivery and what to expect and this kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. This is bad.
Yeah, don't do that.
She goes,
Why would you let her?
I had no idea what to expect. She goes, hey, we should watch this video real quick.
No, you should not.
Nope.
And I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea, dude.
Famous last words.
It's a nice, chill Sunday afternoon. Like, sure, let's look at this beautiful thing that we're gonna go through in a month.
Bad.
Oh, my.
Bad.
Dude, it was so terrifying.
This is a birthing video?
Oh, dude, yeah, it's a front row seat.
Oh, my.
It reminds me of the episode
VIP.
of...
Dude, it's like shot in HD.
Oh, that's...
Oh.
Reminds me of the episode of Friends, man, when Chandler and Monica sit down and watch that birthing video.
Oh.
And it's like when she's ovulating, so like they're wanting to have a baby, and she's like, "Don't touch me."
Dude, it was such a crazy thing. It blew my mind, dude. It wasn't a very long video. You know, there was a lot of cuts and edits and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's probably, I don't know, 7 minutes long, dude. But it was like Alien versus Predator.
Everyone says it's beautiful. It's not beautiful.
Dude, no. Dude, okay, so they're like, oh, it's time to break the sack. And they get this long rod.
Oh, dear God.
And they like stick it up in there, dude. And then all this fluid shoots out. I'm like, what are we watching right now? It's like I was just watching The Office, and now all of a sudden I'm just terrified.
Dude, that's bad.
Well, then when it was all said and done, I go back to watching The Office after the second video. We watched 2.
You just can't get it out of your mind.
Oh,
What is
dude.
your problem?
I go back to watching The
Glutton for punishment, right?
Exactly.
Not just 1, but 2. We watched 2 videos.
I go back to watching The Office, dude. And I'm just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, I kind of hear a little bit of sniffling, and I look over,
no.
yeah, and she's got tears running down her eyes. And I'm like, "Oh, babe, what's wrong?" And she was like, "That's gonna be hard."
Oh, man.
Yes, it is.
I got a story to piggyback off of this one. You remember when we had your reveal party?
Yeah.
Like not post your sex change, but your child. Like your child.
Yes, I'm familiar, Josh. Thank you.
He's coming out.
Sorry,
I don't even want to know what you cut the cake with on that one.
Anyway, when we had your guys' reveal party, and we all found out that what you guys were having and everything, and everyone's eating the cupcakes, and I just make that like comment, didn't even realize what I actually said, and I was like, well, you should have waited, because now all you got to look forward to is the pain.
Oh, my God. Oh, dude.
I didn't even realize it, dude. At the time, I was just like, I was just speaking the truth. And now you guys go and watch this and make it worse.
Oh, dude, it was brutal, man. I
guess the best thing we can say is to all of our wives, like,
Well
you
done.
guys are beast mode.
Yeah,
beast
well done.
mode.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, we support you.
Yeah.
Forever.
Way to go.
High five.
That's my wife.
That's my wife.
She's the best. How big was the baby? Good size, good size. Speaking of men who look like babies, when we come back,
You know
We're
what?
gonna get
I
into-
know it's a bald joke, and I don't really like it.
oh man, we're going to get into the Vin Diesel celebration, so stick around and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to You, Me, and He. This is episode 30, or as we're calling it, XXX, because this is our Vin Diesel celebration, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to get into our best Vin Diesel characters and starting us off strong. Drew, hit us up, man. Who is the best Vin Diesel character out there?
The best Mark Sinclair character.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, yes.
Go by his Christian name.
Yeah, speaking of, what is Vin Diesel?
Made up. It's super douchey.
It's like the most bro-est name you could ever have.
Yeah, dude, it's broer than Chad and Brad.
If your name was Brad Chad, you would not be as bro as Vin Diesel.
I picked Vin Diesel in Guardians of the Galaxy as I didn't even know he was in the movie too. I think that's why I liked his part so much. I had no idea he was Groot. Awesome, dude. They finally gave him a part he could handle.
Oh my.
Actually, I'm told that they had to take 50 takes to get the line right.
Each time.
The line is, I am Groot.
That's what he said.
it again. I is Groot. Dang it. Dude, is Groot the easiest gig anyone has ever had as an actor?
Absolutely it is. Yes, hands down. If I hear that he got paid more than $1 million, more than $10,000 to say I am Groot,
More than $10.
Dude,
if I hear that he got paid to say I am Groot, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, dude, it better have been like, all right, Vin, we'll let you do it.
Fine, stop calling us. You can be Groot. I'm wondering, okay, so Vin Diesel, I looked this up today. His highest rated movie, okay, on like Rotten Tomatoes, Metascore, is The Iron Giant. I didn't know that he did the voice for the Iron Giant either. I'm wondering if off the success of the Iron Giant, they were like, there's one man that can voice this big tree, and that is Vin Diesel.
What other big trees do we
Hey,
know?
get me Vin.
Actually,
Get me Vin.
He's pretty short, isn't he?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's probably definitely one of those Arnold
He's like
Schwarzenegger
Stallone.
situations. You know,
Stallone,
yeah,
dude.
like in movies they look like they're 6'7", but in reality they're like
He went up to Paul Walker's shin.
yeah, they're actually like 5'9" and they wear a size 5 shoe.
He was so short that even when he was just recording the voice of Groot, they made him stand on a phone book.
Okay, well, solid pick, Rob. What do you got for us?
Dude, Groot is a solid choice. I feel like he lucked out on that one. Dude, he gets to be in all of the Avengers and Infinity War and all that stuff. And dude, it's just
Spoilers.
the same every time. I'm Groot, bro. I am Groot.
Easy.
Yeah, I love it. That might be the best pick. Okay,
Here's
here we
what
go.
I don't get: why'd they have to bring him back for the second Guardians of the Galaxy when Groot was like a shrub?
And he says,
Like, I mean, save yourself $10 and go get some no name. Because they recorded that like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like he says it one way and then they like sped it up real fast
yeah.
to get the high voice. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
So why use him?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know, man. Should write him a letter.
yeah, maybe.
He wasn't doing anything else. Okay, okay, my pick, dude. I remember seeing Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious.
Right.
And I thought, this guy is a joke. But then I saw him in another film series, and it completely changed my perspective on this guy because I thought to myself, this is the role that he was born to play. And yes, I am talking about Vin Diesel is Riddick. Okay, Riddick is BA, bro. Tell me you've seen the Riddick films.
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
Is that
So
the one
many
where
people-
he's the...
Yeah, he
He's
can
the
see like
daycare? Oh.
No, he can see it in the dark. Like he's got night vision or whatever, and he can fight, and It's a really overblown movie for those that love to spend time in comic book shops.
So it's like all his other movies.
Dude, he's got all those sweet one-liners, okay? He kills a guy with a teacup, and then, spoilers if you've never seen it, but when he kills the bad guy in Chronicles of Riddick by stabbing him in the face and then breaking the handle off the knife, is there a cooler way to kill a bad guy? I don't know.
Yes, there is. There's a cooler way. You can cut their heart out with a spoon. That's way cooler.
Frodo threw Gollum into the fire.
Into
Lord
the
of
lava.
Rings.
Yeah,
that was cooler.
That was cooler
And that was,
too.
and he's a half of a man. Oh, he was the same same height as Riddick.
I will say when Sylvester Stallone punched Quaylen into the helicopter in Cliffhanger, that was a pretty cool death too. But anyway, I digress.
Of course,
You have
got
got to get off this film, bro. You've got to let it go. Jeez.
Dude, Riddick is... Dude, he's the most BA of all, dude. He is a guy who... Dude, Pitch Black, all right? He's like one of the only people to survive the aliens, okay? Chronicles of Riddick, he takes on a freaking army, bro. And he becomes...
The leader.
He becomes the king, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he, like I said, kills a guy with a teacup. Dude, the one-liners, dude.
He becomes the king of the aliens.
The first mistake was you took the job. I mean, dude, that's BA. At that point, I'm crapping my pants. I don't know about you.
Definitely not.
Riddick. Chronicles.
I never saw it.
Yeah. It
What?
rates right up there with DC's Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
No. That is too far. Too far. You know what,
I don't
Josh?
know about that.
With a statement like that, I can't wait to hear. Please tell me, what is your pick?
Dude, this was by far his best film ever. Because he may not be the greatest actor. He's not the greatest. He's not Clooney, but he's number 5. That's solid. Okay, that's coming.
Who
in
else
solid.
is above him?
Now, we'll get back to that later. But George Clooney, Matt Damon, Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage.
Ooh, solid lineup.
Okay.
Okay,
Are you happy?
Yeah, I
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Are you casting the new Ocean's 11 movie? What are you doing? Maybe that should have been the Justice League right there.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so this movie brought out the diversity of his acting, and I think this was like his biggest step up, and by far his greatest project. Because who doesn't like a film about a guy who used to be a Navy SEAL
Don't even tell me.
protecting children from their father's enemies? And I am talking about Shane Wolf from The Pacifier.
Oh my gosh, you got to be
Vin
kidding
Diesel's,
me.
that was his Mona Lisa. Like his Mona Lisa. I mean, dude, there was comedy, there was adventure.
Hang on. The first one's very debatable.
When you use the word comedy, is it in quotes?
No, there was comedy, and there was adventure, and there was fighting.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, he's a younger guy at this time. I mean,
Sure.
this he was able to demonstrate his BA side and his sensitive side and fatherly figure. You know, I mean,
he also
dude,
sent up a flare saying, "I'm on my way out." That's what that movie was. Thanks, guys. It's been fun. See you later.
I quit.
Hey, you know, we all thought the same thing when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starred in The Tooth Fairy, but
That's
he seemed to
true.
pull it out.
That's true.
Oh,
he
dude.
came out on top. He came out on the other side.
Yeah, dude. He's not great either. He just surrounds himself with good company.
Yeah, that's true. But
That's what Vin Diesel needs
this
to work
topic
on.
is not about Dwayne Johnson. It is the icon, the myth, the legend, the man, Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And being the 5th greatest actor of all time, his greatest movie ever, The Pacifier.
So the problem that you guys have is that you guys picked
the play
a movie.
on words, man. The play on words, The Pacifier.
Exactly.
He
It's highbrow.
pacifies.
It's
You
highbrow,
guys-
just like the comedy.
Yeah, man.
You guys picked movies that are starring Vin Diesel, and that's where you went wrong. He's the best actor in that movie, which is a problem.
So you're saying he's at his best when he's a periphery character. When he's just kind of off to the side and you're like, hey, look, Vin Diesel, but then it's over.
When he's Groot. Because most people don't know he's Groot.
His best movie is when his name comes up 15th on the credits.
That's what you're looking for, dude.
Okay.
That's a Vin Diesel movie.
I get where you're going. All right, gotcha. Okay. Well, I dare anyone to challenge me. The Pacifier was by far his best film, and for the 5th greatest actor to ever walk the planet, like that's saying something. So I rest my case. Right. Case rested. I rest my case.
What? Let's take it to social media. We want to hear from you. Which is the best? Are we talking about Vin Diesel as Groot?
Dude, they're all younger people. They're like, who's Vin Diesel?
They're like, oh, I know who Groot is. He's cool. Did anybody even see The Pacifier? I don't think so.
No, but Josh did. Josh.
But if you didn't, you're missing out. I'm going to tell you right now. You should go watch it because it's going to change your life.
We need to do a Pacifier live stream that we just watch and just knock this bad boy out together.
You guys want to know an interesting fact?
Yes.
If you look up Vin Diesel on IMDb, that movie, The Pacifier, doesn't show up in his lineage of films.
Oh no!
It's not even on
there. I wonder
there.
how much was paid to edit that out.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think they list those like highbrow art house films like Pacifier. So you have to go to his like Screen Actors Guild site or something like that. All right, we'll throw it to social media. We want to hear from you. What is Vin Diesel's best character? Was it Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy? Of course, Riddick. Or what was his name in the Pacifier?
Shane Wolf.
Oh, sorry,
Shane Wolf.
Shane Wolf.
Dude, and that name is just awesome. Are we doing him a disservice by not even like approaching Xander Cage?
I mean,
why does he have all of the most Tool names in the world, dude? Like you just named like a group of frat guys.
Hey, it's me, Xander Cage. Check out my buddy over here. His name is Dominic Toretto, and that's Shane Wolf. We're gonna start a band.
You know what? Okay, that does it, dude. The next time we do an episode, we introduce ourselves as such: Xander Cage, Dominic Toretto, and Shane Wolf. Dude. That's how we should have introduced ourselves today. Actually,
I imagine he calls a local college frat house and says, "Hey, let me talk to the guy who's in charge." And it's like,
give me a list of your names.
He's like, "Yo, hey, this is Xander Cage." And he's like, "Click, got it. Let's do this." Oh my gosh. All right. Well, hey, tonight, fellas, in honor of the man, the myth, the legend, Vin Diesel, we know that he is a guy who is a man of many talents who will take on any challenge. So tonight, I want to play a little game with you guys that I like to call Vin, Lose, or Draw.
This is going to be awesome.
All right, here's how it works, fellas. I am going to give you a scenario. Vin Diesel versus blank. But we're not going to talk about fighting. We know that if it came down to a brawl, Vin Diesel's going to win every time. What I want to know is, in these scenarios, would you choose Vin? Is he going to lose? Or is it going to be such an even match that it'll be a draw? You get what I'm saying?
Get it.
Or a Drew? No, it doesn't even make sense.
We'll see. We don't know the question.
Vin, lose, or Drew?
All right, let's start this bad boy off right. Benjamin Ryan Cooper via Facebook. Vin Diesel versus Mr. Rogers in a shoe tying competition. We know that Mr. Rogers is one heck of a shoe tire.
It's gotta be.
What about Vin Diesel? Has he met his match?
Lose, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to say lose also.
Dude, Mr. Rogers has his crap together.
Yeah. I mean, that dude's been tying his shoes every day for decades.
Look at his sweater vest. Look how clean he is.
Pretty sure Vin Diesel, when he's not acting in a movie, has slip-ons.
Like, no, dude, he wears the shoes like Grandpa did. Yeah, the Velcro ones. All over.
He wears Fast and the Furious Velcro shoes. All right. Vin Diesel versus Martha Stewart in a scone bake-off.
Oh, Vin.
We saw him in The Pacifier. We know that he has some home ec skills, dude.
Vin.
We're going Vin on this
one.
Drew.
I'm going Vin.
I'm going to say draw.
You going to say draw?
Draw.
Here's
It'll be close.
Here's why I say Vin. Who hasn't ever dreamed of punching Martha Stewart and beating her at her own show? So she ain't getting up, man. So
it doesn't matter what he bakes.
Nope.
All right,
It's just he
fair
wins either way.
I changed my answer to Vin.
I guess
Okay.
that same argument could be applied to the Mr. Rogers shoe tying contest.
But dude, Mr. Rogers wasn't he a sniper or something like that?
Was he?
Isn't that an urban legend?
I don't know. Is it? Maybe Josh will tell us on the next episode.
Maybe.
Do I hear something?
No, definitely don't hear anything tonight.
I have a feeling we might hear it next week. Anyways,
Maybe.
this one, oh my gosh. This one came in via Twitter from the Super Movie Bros podcast. You can follow them at Super Movie Pod. They asked this one: Vin Diesel versus Trump's import tariffs. Which one is more harmful to U.S. consumers?
Draw.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's pretty bad either way.
I'd like to do away with both.
All right, here we go. This one came in from Drunk Discussions podcast. You can follow them at Drunk D Podcast. They asked this: Vin Diesel. Let me try that again. Vin Diesel. Sorry, I'm so excited. Vin Diesel versus Walter Peck. Who's a bigger jerk to the Ghostbusters? Which I think really is just a question of: do you think that Vin Diesel is pro Ghostbusters? Do you think he believes in ghosts?
I think he does believe in ghosts because he's on record as saying that the Earth is flat as well. So he is a fellow flat earther. So, Vin.
I think he believes in ghosts.
Yeah.
There's a ghost of a successful career coming around.
Oh my gosh.
Being chased by that ghost.
Feels like I'm chasing ghosts. Okay,
Wait, so who's Walter Peck?
do you remember in Ghostbusters the guy who was like always trying to shut him down, and then Bill Murray claimed that he doesn't have a penis?
Yes.
That guy. Okay. The guy with no wiener. Okay, here we go. All right, this one came in from Work Life Imbalance. You can follow them at WL Imbalance on Twitter. They said Vin Diesel versus Michael Cera in a contest to see who can make the least expressive face. Who wins? I mean, they both have that ability
Did you
to
just
go
picture it too?
stone.
Yeah, dude. I saw Michael Cera's dumb face.
The least expressive face.
Oh man.
Jeez.
I mean, maybe draw on that one for me.
I'm gonna yeah.
Can you imagine
yeah,
them just
draw.
staring at each other?
Like, I wouldn't be able to take it serious, man.
All right, here's one for you. Vin Diesel versus Drew Carroll in a drum off. Who wins?
I don't know if you should be allowed to answer this one because it's kind of
Biased?
a little bit.
All right, I won't
biased.
answer. I'll let you guys answer.
Yeah. So Rob's gonna have to answer on behalf of Drew for this one, and in a drum off, he loses. Like, yeah, dude. Something tells me that Vin doesn't play.
I'm going to say lose because
Yeah.
I don't think he can reach the kit. He's too short. Okay.
You wouldn't hear any cymbals. Like he just doesn't have the reach. You know,
He's just hitting the rims. Okay.
Kick or nothing.
just all kick. It's just all kick. He might as well play for the White Stripes at this point.
Just down there punching it.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was awesome.
Down there punching it.
All right. All right. How about Tyler Cook via Facebook? He asks Vin Diesel versus Caillou. Do you guys know who Caillou is?
He's in Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
I was gonna say Street Fighter.
No, that's
right?
Ryu.
Then no.
You guys don't know Caillou? He's that wussy Canadian kid on PBS.
No.
What does he do?
My
He's really
my
just-
kids watch Disney.
He's just kind of a wuss and he's Canadian. You know what? Let's just go Vin on that one. All right. I got one last one for you.
All right.
Vin Diesel versus your mom. Who's hotter?
No,
You have to answer. You have to answer.
You have to answer.
Dang
You
it.
have to answer.
I'm going to say Vin
Vin.
Diesel. No offense, Ma. Just weirder the other way.
Vin.
That was a trick question. That might be the right answer. Okay. All right. And fellas, as we come to the end of our time, we've had a really great time talking about Vin Diesel and celebrating this man who is number 5 really on Josh's list.
Number
and I think
5.
that's being generous. Now, as always, fellas, as we come to the end of our time, let us talk about what we've learned. Really, I think that there's only one thing that we've learned tonight, and that's that Vin Diesel is hotter than both of your moms. So, hey, we just want to say thanks to everybody who's been listening and supporting the show. Make sure wherever you get your podcast, you go and leave us a review because it really helps out. Thanks to everybody who chimed in and helped out with the Vin loser draw game there. We appreciate those submissions.
Yes, thank you very much.
Until next time, I am your host, Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
I was going to say one of those Vin Diesel names. I couldn't think of any of those stupid names.
This is Xander Cage signing off.
Dang it.
Let's do that over again. Let's all take a name. Let's close it out
here we
that
go.
way.
All right.
I got Xander Cage.
All right, and until next time, I am your host. Dang it, I forgot the name. Okay, let me try it again. Okay. All right, and until next time, I am your host, Dominic Toretto.
This is Shane Wolf.
This is Xander Cage.
Okay.
I'm not good at impressions, dude.
I know.
We are Groot. Have a good night, everybody. We're so sorry.